Gotta build myself up.
Okay.
Count of 3,
1,
2.
3. Welcome,
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 welcome!
to Healthy Living with Christina's Sichangwa.
And Pastor Lastings Sichangwa. You see where she gets the name.
I have no idea what's going on today, guys. First of all, he's finally agreed to be on this side of the camera, and I'm excited. I really am.
So am I.
Okay.
Do I look excited?
We have like something really special for you today, and it's so special that he finally decided to be on this side of the camera.
She convinced me.
Yeah, I have the gift, and we will be talking about overcoming addiction. And we just both felt like it was something that, you know, it should be heard from both sides of the spectrum, both female and male. And so, yeah, we hope you enjoy this. So, overcoming addiction. According to you, Pastor.
Yeah.
Pastor Babe, what would you say is addiction to you? Like, what would you define it as? Like, what are your thoughts when someone says addiction?
Well, before I go on, do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.
That's right.
I'm hoping there's gonna be some like notification thing just popping up like
always. Don't worry, we got
subscribe, yeah.
So please, whatever.
Okay, so addiction is a powerful. It's a strong craving for something that someone feels they can't do without. It's a dependency on something. Yeah.
Okay.
I've forgotten the other part of the question.
Let's just flow.
Okay.
Like for me, I would consider it a disease. I always say when it comes to addictions, it doesn't take into consideration sustainability. Like it's about now, like feeding that craving now, like without consideration of your future self or anybody else. Nothing to do with future needs, right? So I like to think of it as a disease because by definition, addiction has unhealthy consequences.
Yeah.
So most often than not, it leads to even bigger things, a lot more things actually. And that's why we strongly believe it's something that should be overcome. We strongly believe it's something that should be dealt with. So I'm going to allow you, like in your experience, not just as a pastor, as a big brother, as a friend, I don't know, whatever, as a person, as you were growing up and everything, as you've been doing life, like what would you say, like was your exposure to addiction? Like when you say like, okay, yeah, like what would you say you came to see, like, okay, this is truly an addiction that really affects a number of people, and then obviously specifically to guys. I really can't speak for most guys, but yes, like what would you say your experience was like, as well as yeah.
Well, to begin with, there was one time I asked, I think I may have been like 9 or somewhere around that age. There was someone
Young.
yeah, that was me. I'm asking someone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So they used to smoke a lot. So I asked them, why do you smoke? And then he said it calms him down. So I was there wondering, like, do you know that smoking can cause arteriosclerosis.
Oof.
I
At
know.
9?
I know at 9.
I was saying at 9.
Yeah, I had Googled it, so that was the first big word that I think I got to know.
So you were showing off.
No, it was care.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I cared,
Right.
like I looked and then I wanted to like ask like
Of
why
course.
do you
Oh,
do
it's,
it?
It's just care. Care.
It truly is, and I think that was the
Nothing to
beginning.
do with flexing.
No, it literally had nothing to do with flexing. It was just a word that I didn't understand. But like when I Googled, I ended up understanding that it's literally the clogging up of the thingies. But,
Okay, I
yeah.
think we can
So
see.
okay.
We understand.
So yeah. So I was there like, okay, why would someone smoke if they know that it can cause something like this?
Yeah.
So like, do you know that?
They know part.
Exactly. So I think what I was trying to do, and I was actually asking, saying, do you know that it leads to arteriosclerosis? I was wondering whether they would actually take that as something big enough to stop doing what will lead to that. And yeah, it's
Like a motive to change.
yes, but it looks like it wasn't really. I mean, I think on the packs of cigarettes they say smoking is harmful.
Literally.
Yeah, so it's literally they're telling you like what you're doing is harmful to your health, it's harmful to your body, and yeah, you just do it.
Did
So
you ever find yourself, sorry to
no.
cut you- Did you ever find yourself like that was when you were 9, right? And you're seeing someone older and you're feeling like it's just something you can switch off. But like when you were now a little older, did you ever find yourself struggling with it, suffering? Because it's a disease from addiction.
Well, something many people do not know, but it is the old
You heard it
man.
first here, folks.
It is the old man.
Like before you were born again.
Yes. Well, it's sometimes hard to even talk about it.
Yeah.
Because there was one time I was actually preaching to someone in university, and they told me, "Are you the same lastings that I've heard about?" Because when I look at you and I think of the person that I hear about, it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't match.
Well, that's what Jesus does, people. I just had to make that disclaimer. So,
Yeah.
now
They miss the pastor part.
yes.
The believer part.
Yeah. So now to break the chains and actually talk about something that I don't talk about.
Yeah.
So funny enough, the very same thing that I ended up asking someone, the smoking thing, I found myself doing that.
Okay.
And then someone ended up asking me, "Why do you smoke?" Guess what my response was? It calms me down.
I see.
Yeah, it was funny because I think because I got that response from that person saying it calms them down, when I started going through something where I just felt like an angry person all the time, I was like, okay, it calms them down, so it'll probably calm me down too.
So it was like something, you ended up learning. It's literally like, well, it seems to calm that person down who I look up to.
Yeah.
So probably it will work for me.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, you can imagine it actually went a couple of steps further. And I found myself actually engaging with the wrong group.
Yeah.
I mean, I was literally the smallest guy in class, and yeah.
I don't think anyone believes you, but okay.
Yeah, like, yeah.
It's okay, I believe you.
I was the youngest in my class and found myself with the wrong company, and from that point, that's when things became
Like took a turn.
yeah, like I was literally the one. I literally remember like promising my mother, I will never drink or smoke in my life ever, and she was like, they're like so proud. Yeah,
Yeah,
then
goes my little boy.
yeah, then a couple of years, not a couple of years, no, some years later, it yeah, let's just say I found myself
Doing
getting
exactly what you
said I wouldn't do.
yeah.
And
Why aside from okay, you said for you the dynamic was you started hanging out with the wrong crowd. Like
yeah.
is it that they made it feel normal? Like or that you felt you'd be like an outcast if you didn't participate?
Well, I can say I was used to being an outcast. I think it's like they looked like they had no care in life, like they had no problems, or it's like whatever they were doing, they were able to overcome whatever mental issues they were going through. Although I can see now that that was a mental issue in itself. Like, yeah.
So, like from your uncle to your friends, it began to feel like the best way to deal with anything life throws at you is, you know, drink, smoke, party, or whatever. And, you know, because they seemed to be happy. They seemed to, you know.
Yeah, I'm actually even remembering a time where it got to the point where the purpose of doing it was just, it seemed fun.
Yeah.
It looked like fun. So it was literally uncontrollable, which brings us back to what an addiction is. It's an uncontrollable desire. So it's literally like I found myself doing stuff that I did not want to do, such that the next day when I wake up, I'm like, why did I do it?
Yeah.
Then at the end of the day, found myself doing it again.
So aside, like, would you say that's something most guys tend to, like, that's the path most guys tend to take since it's like a rite of passage, right? Or is there anything else maybe you notice like?
Well, if I was to give the same example of myself, like, or let me just generalize it, you find that guys tend to see elder people like role models,
Yeah.
either older brothers, uncles, fathers,
Yeah.
sometimes even just friends. You find that they're living somewhat of a reckless life, kind of like sexual immorality with regards to a gentleman, or should I say a boy, seeing his father abusing his mother. Sometimes it can turn out in such a way that the same guy who hates his father for abusing his mother becomes the abuser and molester, or one who just tries to rape because they have this, there's just something instilled in them to just do something. So I think sometimes an addiction comes from what someone is exposed to, and it ends up being implanted in their heads.
So that this is normal.
Like, this is normal, yeah.
Yeah, I can relate. Well, in my experience, it was more. I would say, like I always say, I came from like such a female dominant family.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have first-hand experience.
Okay.
Okay, so I think for me, when I look back at my upbringing and everything that I had encountered, I was always a goody two shoes. I was always like, I always followed the path. You know, if they said don't do this, it's wrong, I'd probably steer more that side. But it's like one thing that was a taboo or off topic in most households actually is when it comes to talking about sex or any form of anything related to that, right? It's evil. If a guy even greets you, you get pregnant. Like,
Oh yeah, I was told that like I shouldn't have female friends. They are bad for me.
yeah. Anyway, so I feel like the challenge with my personality was I like I said, I loved being told like, okay, school, if you go to school you will become this and that. So I put my energy in that because I'll become that. But there was never like a script with sex. And like you said, when you then go to school and see, now I was at an all-girls school. Yeah, at school, all your friends like are indulging in certain things. I grew up in a Christian home. Most of my like schoolmates or whatever come from different backgrounds, and so some of these things were normal parents would encourage them, even give them protection and all of that stuff. And so because it was such like a dirty, evil topic, I feel like it's what, and then at the same time, it wasn't like too many restrictions with regards what you can watch on TV, you know, the graphic novels and all of that stuff I constantly found myself exposed to. I feel like because of that, I knew it's something dirty because I've been told it's something dirty, but I was just never told why. And yeah, and then on the other side though, like on the other side, I mean generally being around girls or at a girls' school, most of our sexual orientation or whatever was always about, because that's what guys want. That's what guys want. That's what you get married. That's what your husband wants. And I feel like the whole introduction to pornography, graphic stuff, and masturbation and all of this stuff was to become this like amazing sexual object to please this like impossible to please person. And so I feel like in as much as I was not the kind to date, in as much as not the kind to sleep around or any of that stuff, because you know boys were bad, I still feel like I found myself, just like you said with your uncle, exposed to these things, and it was considered normal because you're a teenager and have all of these hormones and stuff. It was only until I got born again, only until I got exposed to the consequences, right? Like you telling your uncle what smoking would lead to. For me, I feel like only when I learned the consequences of what participating in some of these things does to you, that I began to fight with everything that I have in me. Which brings me to like the whole point of this video. Overcoming addiction. Like from who you were